Good morning, welcome to Matt Bajerski YouTube channel. Look what was just by my side this morning. Hey, oh, an angel on my shoulder. How you doing, guys? Welcome to Matt Bajerski YouTube channel. It's a beautiful day today. The weather is really warm. It's like, whoa. I just did a bit of vacuuming before we start the day. Cleanliness is close to godliness, they say. When everything's clean, you feel clean. When your cupboards if you've just gone and cleared your cupboards out, cleared the rubbish that you don't need anymore, you feel lighter inside and out. So that's how I like to keep this place clean. When everything's cluttered all around me and where things are lying down, then your whole mind and thought is that everything's cluttered. And that goes on to a really great subject today. How do we bring peace into our life when our life is filled with, confusion, controversial things that are happening around us? Who's the next president? Who's the next this? And what's happening now? And all the confusion. And then you've got all your issues, your little issues, your problems with your family, the problems with yourself. And that's a little bit like a cupboard filled with stuff that is no longer needed. And I think a lot of the times we focus without realizing it's a subconscious knowledge that is always there. So when you walk along, say, your living room floor and you see two or three little bits on the floor, subconsciously, I think your mind will always remember that they're there, and that will be always on your mind. So you can't really feel that your house is clean. Now, you can do one of two things. You can say, I can clean it later, or you can bend down and pick them bits up. I find by bending down and picking them bits up and putting them in the bin at that moment, I'm left with balance and a stillness in my mind, and free from all the worry and fear of, this, that, and it's so, if you think about it, it's so close, the physical reactions to the spiritual and emotions of how we react and behave. So if you change the way you physically interact with any given situation, if you clean your cupboards out, if you pick up the bits around you, then you have a clear empty space. If you resolve your issues with, say, your brother, your partner, your sister, your children, and then you start to resolve your issues with yourself and start to work on them issues, like picking up the pieces and throwing them away, working on that one thing that's bothering you, then all of a sudden you're left with an emptiness within your mind. And that emptiness is what I call peace, because people ask me, what is peace? How do you get it? Well, these are some examples what I use when I teach and share my thoughts and feelings with people. So cleanliness is close to godliness. When you're clean, when you feel and smell clean, when you look at your fingernails, when you look at your toes, when you feel your body and you feel clean, there is something about that where there is a close to balance, joy, happiness. And of course, when you're clean physically, when you clean yourself daily and wash yourself daily, both afternoon, morning, evening, whenever, you're free from bacteria, picking up things. And so I guess the point of today's subject and story is more about you and your personal attention to yourself. And that's not just physically speaking, but emotionally speaking, spiritually speaking. I don't like to hold on to one thought that is negative. And the reason why is because it ruins my whole day. And I've learned over the past 15 years to break free from that and to let it go, because if you let it go, it disappears, it goes, it really does. But if you fuel it and think about it and focus on it all the time with no real cause or reason for doing that, then you are just stimulating that very thought and making it grow. If you really want to tackle an issue, there are certain ways you can tackle them by simply letting them go. But by letting them go, that means you not to think about them again. you have to accept that situation and let it go. Acceptance means that, okay, whatever happened, I accept. If you can delve a little deeper, it becomes even more beautiful. If you can accept it and understand why and look at the bigger picture and realize that we've all learned a great lesson from there, or maybe I've learned a great lesson and they too need to learn, and hopefully, please let them learn from that and grow, and then we move forward. And that, I think that's it. If I say, oh, just let it go, it might still be on your mind all the time. So there is points of our spiritual journey that we should look at certain things, but in a way that we can resolve, see the picture, and how we can say, okay, now I get that. A bit like my dad. My dad was abusive. He was angry. The more I helped him, the more he got angry. And I realized, look, I'm laughing now, right? I'm laughing because I was trying to fix the man. I was trying to make him happy. I was trying to make him see that, oh, your son's a lovely son and he wants to help you. If somebody wants to be that person, you can't change them. If you want somebody to see you, you can't make them. So I'm laughing, right? Because of all the years and energy I spent trying to make him love me in the way I wanted. And actually, that's a silly thing. That was my mistake, not his. But how many of you blame your mother and father? How many of you blame them for not being the person that they should be? And then ask yourself this question. If you have children, I wonder what they think about you. And if they come to you and say, why don't you love me like the way you do? What are you going to say? Well, baby, the only way I can love you is the only way I know. This is my limit to my love, and I love you the way I only know how. So I had to figure that out for my dad. My dad loved me. I remember he once kissing me on my forehead when my mum had just passed. I'm going to start crying now. And that was lovely because he loved me in the only way he knew. He could only kiss me when I was asleep. But I wasn't asleep, and I felt that kiss, and I knew he loved me, even with his abusive behavior and anger. That wasn't him. His real true core, his pureness was inside, and it was tarnished and covered with this pain and suffering of all the anguish and torture and old patterns that he could not break free from. His reactions was his weaknesses to not be able to look at himself and say, I'm sorry, I need to work on myself, I love you. So I accept that, and I conquered that and realized that. Do you see where I'm coming from? So this little talk today is about love and about clearing your scattered, crazy stuff going on in your head that you can't sort yourself out. Well, maybe today, clean some of your cupboards out. Give your cupboards a clean. Give a place a vac. That's the first point of call of, okay, everything's now clean, so I don't need to worry about that. That's one piece of the jigsaw fitted in. That's one little piece of jewellery that was all tangled up in your mum's jewellery box that is free, and now you're able to not worry about that. And then we go on to the next piece of jewellery that we need to untangle, and we do it one step at a time, one piece at a time. And by doing that, you create a life of more happiness, inner peace, and you feel more content in your life. And through that content, through that peace, you create an energy around you that miracles come in. So it's a win-win situation, guys. So I wish you a lovely day today. I'm having to shoot off now. We've got a very busy day today. I've got all these books over there, all them books over there to sign. There's about 50, 60 books to sign, all hand signing with a personal message for you all. Thank you for really loving Diary of an Accidental Psychic, guys. Thank you. And when you bought Diary of an Accidental Psychic, pass it on to somebody else, let them read it, because in that book there is great information that helps people understand the path of spiritual awakening, signs, healing, and all the other things. It's a great book. It was made a few years ago, and it is of my journey, but it's more so to help you and confirm to you that you're on the right path and you're doing the right thing. And just as a final note, guys, you are beautiful. Don't ever forget that. We all are here to learn, conquer the tests and challenges that we give ourselves. Don't ever see them as a negative, please, because that will only hold you down in a bad place, and that's not where you need to be. This is more important for you now. This is your moment. We did a reading the other day on here, and it was about moving forward, the change, and now we are about to shine. You are the caterpillar. You are now changing into the butterfly. You are amazing. Transformation is the time. This is it. It's your moment. So shine your light, spread your wings, and fly, because you deserve it more than anybody in this world. You deserve beauty, happiness, inner peace, and all the joy and adventures that are about to begin as soon as you say goodbye from now. Bye guys, get ready.